Hello there, this will be a head-to-head clash of the Nokia E7 and the Nokia N900. So let's get started right away. The first thing we will cover is the battery life. Now my N900 is currently on charge, as you can see. That will not stop us doing the head-to-head. It has a removable 1320 milliamp hour battery. It is the Nokia BL5J, for those of you that wanted to know, and theoretically this should give you 4.5 hours of 3G talk time and 250 hours of 3G standby time. The E7 on the other hand has a non-removable 1200 milliamp hour battery, which should theoretically give you 5 hours of 3G talk time and 450 hours of 3G standby time. So from my usage, I usually take the phones off charge about 8 a.m. and it gets me through the day very nicely. Does the E7. The Nokia N900 usually dies at about 6 p.m. and that's usually from a bit of calls, mainly texting, web browsing, and even on the E7 I use a third-party application known as WhatsApp, and that usually uses the internet connection all the time, but the E7 still gets me through the day very well, and so the battery life round will go to the E7. Now the next thing we shall cover is the screen, and that's what you're looking at. The E7 has a 4-inch AMOLED touchscreen with a resolution of 360 by 640, so the highest resolution screen. However, it is dubbed by Nokia as NHD. It utilizes Nokia's clear black display, and I'll just show you some high-res pictures that came with the device. I've switched off auto rotation because it became a nuisance, so I'll have to just pop up the screen and we get full screen. As you can see, pictures here look absolutely beautiful. These are 1280 by 720 pictures and they look absolutely stunning on this screen. The Nokia N900 on the other hand has a 3.5-inch screen with a resolution of 800 by 480, and this has a pixel density of 267. I was just looking at some notes here. That 267 pixels per inch is greater than the 184 pixels per inch on the E7. However, things just look so much better on the E7. If I just bring both into play here. Here's a picture of the same resolution on the N900. However, this is not a different picture, but it just looks so much better on the E7. That's just basically due to the E7 can display 16 million colors, while the N900 can only display 64,000 colors, and that really does show when you're looking at the screen. And you're looking at a picture such as this, and it looks absolutely great on the E7. So once again, the screen round will have to go to the Nokia E7. Now let's talk about sort of speed and storage as a whole. The N900 has a 32 gigs built-in of storage plus an expandable 16 gigabytes micro SD card slot. It has 256 megabytes of RAM, and as you can see on the back, if I just show you there, it has the ARM A8 Cortex processor. I'm not sure how well you can see that, bit of poor lighting here, sorry about that, but it's clocked in at about 600 megahertz. Single core, by the way. The E7 also has a single core ARM processor, however it is the ARM 11 clocked in at about 600 megahertz as well. It has 1 gigabytes of ROM, 256 megabytes of RAM, the same as the N900, and 16 gigs of built-in storage, non-expandable. I'll also show you some basics tasks such as scrolling through the home screens, and as you can see, it's just a whole load snappier on the E7 running Symbian Anna compared to Memo 5 running on the N900. Even if I click something simple as menu, I think it's a bit quicker on the N900 actually. I'll just get out of this, try that again. Well, it's about the same, but scrolling through is pretty laggy on the N900, whereas the E7 is, well, it's supposed to be smoother. Yeah, there we go. It's just a lot more smoother. We do get a bit of random touches like that, as you've just seen. However, so much easier on the E7. It's a bit jittery on the N900. When it comes to basic tasks such as opening up applications, let's just open up the web on both. That's going to be horribly wrong. Even though we get this sort of loading screen, it usually does open up websites quicker. If I just go to m.skysports.com, I'm using 3G on the E7, by the way. And as you can see, it's just so much easier to actually see on the N900, sorry, the E7. You can zoom in like so. Not sure how well this actually translates onto the screen because of the reflectiveness of the screen. Here you can see the E7 scrolling nice and easy, whereas once again, it's just not really as smooth as the E7 is the Nokia N900. So really, it's another round to the E7 when it comes to speed. However, the storage side, definitely the Nokia N900. So we could call it a bit of a draw really, because the speed easily the E7. However, the storage side easily the Nokia N900. So now the next thing I'll cover is basically just text input. They both have slide out or pop up QWERTY keyboards. So let's just go into messaging of both. New message. Same here. And first thing, we'll just try the N900, and I'll just type something. And the E7, I've got that pretty badly mixed up. Let's just see if that focuses in. No, it doesn't. So, hello, this is the head-to-head battle of the N900 and the E7, which I got pretty badly wrong. Let's try over here on the E7. I've obviously changed the message a bit. Hello, this is a view, and what I can say is text input on the E7 is a whole lot better. Even though these buttons are rubber, I do find them to be more responsive than the Nokia N900s. However, I'm not sure how well you can see this, but the Nokia N900s keyboard is a lot more raised than the E7s. But with the E7 you get a whole lot more space, and I'll just select all of that. And with that more space, I've preferred the layouts of the keys. We do get a app button on its own, shift, sort of second function. We get control, we get backspace, we get enter. We do get the same thing on the more or less on the N900. However, I just prefer the keyboard on the Nokia E7. So the keyboard round will also go to the E7. Now the next thing I will cover now is basically just the OS. They're both running two very different OSs, and this is what the main screen, home screens on both phones look like. Just focus in there, and we start off with, say, widgets. You can get them on both. If you tap and hold, you get this screen on the N900. If you tap and hold, we get this screen on the E7. Straight away, there's a massive difference. We get these sort of options where we can settings and remove, or we can add. However, here we go desktop menu, and as you can see, we can either add a shortcut, add a bookmark, change the background themes, manage views, etc., etc. If you check the widgets, we'll look at the stock widgets. We get a bit more on the E7 side. These have been downloaded, so we won't review them. Calendar, which I already have on. Communicator, these are built-in apps by the way. CNN video, favorites, this is obviously favorite contacts. We get a mail widget, which I already have. Music player, Nat Geo, Ovi WhatsApp, phone setup, Virgin player. This is another RSS feed. This is routers. Got shortcuts of applications and social. These are the widgets here. We get RSS, obviously whatever you want. A media player, location, a live wallpaper. Get started. Not really much built in on the N900 side. If you add a shortcut, say file manager, it's just not as well polished as say the E7, as in the way it's sort of laid out. I don't really like it because you have to move it around yourself and it doesn't stay in a straight line as the E7. That being said, you can easily customize this phone, and really that's where the N900 comes into its own. This is the menu now, and as you can see, completely different again. This is obviously running Symbian Anna, not Bele just of yet. Here we can see all our apps. You can scroll up and down. Here we have sort of apps and folders. Your office here, and here are obviously the office stuff that came built in. Applications. The scrolling is a lot more smooth on the N900's E7. Sorry. That being said, you can't create folders on the N900's menu. We can move them around just by tapping, but that's not really what I'd want. So that's the menu. Really, OS is just something that you'd prefer yourself. This is a really subjective thing. If you want Symbian, you can get Symbian. If you're a developer, you're a hacker, N900 is a phone for you. So operating system wise, it's basically your choice. So I think that will wrap up the head-to-head review. I will take some still pictures and videos of each phone of the same thing, so you can see what they're like. I'll put obviously a link in the description for that. Make sure you rate, comment and subscribe. Obviously subscribe for further videos. So yeah, this has been a head-to-head review of the E7 and the Nokia N900. Thanks for tuning in.